So cancel the TP. One last heal before he goes, but Flyby surrounded by 4 heroes just will not make it out alive. The last Rate Fire Blast secures it as Solo is the one to get the last hit between the last word and that little bit of damage off the neutrals as well, thanks to the Fatal Bond.
It looked like they were backing up after they saw the TP. But once the TP got canceled, wasn't able to come in. Monet.
Well, Chronosphere has been used. Is this an opportunity? Can Virtus Pro make a play towards that bottom lane? Or are we just back to the farming game?
I think we're just sort of back to the farming game.
All right,
this is what happens when you can't really pressure through like simple ganks.
Yeah.
So what we'll instead see is probably just explosive team fights. The way that both lineups work, it's going to be, can you hold against the tide? When Virtus Pro just gather up as 5, they Centaur ult, Warlock drop onto you, can RNG counter-initiate, get enough heals off.
Look at this. Both teams are looking to make the same maneuver here. A smoke up of the mid laner off of a support and rotate into the enemy safe lane. Virtus Pro is going to do it first.
Look at the timing of this. And they're going to run into Ramses, who got stunned up by the Centaur, but he's by the shrine. They need to hurry up and TP. Roger already starts it, but...
He has a reincarnation. No one. What a fast rotation from him. Instantly TPs into the mid lane. Is going to be able to catch at least one. And look at Ramses go. He's going to be able to get the stun onto Setsu with Roger with a follow-up as well. They're going to lay into that Leshrac and pick up the double kill for no one. As you said, things are going to start in a hurry. It's going to be explosive team fights. And with RNG having their smoke run into a Wraith King, disaster occurs.
RNG have the most like bend don't break lineup I've ever seen. What's going to happen is they're going to get run at, and they have to just be able to hold off of spell usage. They've got great heroes at counter initiating though, Cap. They've got Chronosphere, they have Shadow Demon Disruption, they have Heavenly Grace. They're able to reset fights really nicely. But if VP can just get on top of them and pick off heroes individually one by one, that's where their lineup is going to be very strong once they start with the numbers advantage.
Pasha trying to chip away at that bottom tower, activates his retaliate stacks, but doesn't really commit to the towers. A little bit skittish just because there's so many heroes of RNG off map right now, but it looks like with the rotation of Roger and no one, they should be able to find. They're not sure exactly where he went to. It's a really good rotation through the trees, but still Apu will eventually be found and killed. We haven't mentioned it, but Fatal Bonds plus Black Cannon, that's got to be a sick combo.
But their mid tower's being pressured. They have to defend this. So they're going to bring back no one. They know that bottom tower is ready for Flyby's here too. They wanted to bring their strongest hero in. Monet going to get run into by Ramses. He's going to throw out the stun. No one's going to defend his tower. And as long as they can keep this mid tower alive, VP can continue to get aggressive around the map. And in fact, I think they should think about taking mid tower themselves at some point. The downside is their carry is going to go for that Radiance, but I don't even mind Ramses just coming in at this point. Secure the tower with your ulti.
Yeah. Especially, is he level 12 yet? No, he's still only level 10. Maybe he just doesn't want to have to use that really lengthy reincarnation cooldown. It's Roger. He's going to try and get that toss onto Flyby, but maybe the Omni-Knight is not the best target.
Ramsey's going to TP out to the other side of the map, understanding that he's pressing his luck a little bit too much, and his timing couldn't have been more perfect. RNG, because they've taken the top tower, they know if he is farming that jungle area, the shrine won't be near enough, and they could probably pop 2 lives.
Yep.
But Ramses read that really nicely, was able to understand that they were probably making their way for him.
And even though these carries both went for the Hand of Midas and their timing is going to be similar in that regard, the Wraith King does have that option of always just being able to summon the skeletons and TP to the other side of the map, knowing that the skeletons will push in the waves and force rotations.
Oh, look at this. They've read them perfectly. They're drawing the lines. They know they're up there.
Yep. And they're just going to play on this right-hand side behind the mid-tower. They still want to be able to protect it, but at the same time, if they don't engage into RNG, the Diabolic Edict will finish off this mid-tower, and Roger trying to brave that distance, but now maybe caught by RNG. Monet Doesn't want to use the Chronosphere for just a tiny. He's going to get bonked in the head, but that's what Flyby is there for. With Heavenly Grace and ready to go with the heals. Now Roger's going to be slowed down. They do have good ultimate coming out from no one. They turn around with the Avalanche as well, but can they do any sort of damage? These are really tanky heroes on the side of RNG.
Oh, he got caught by the Centaur.
Onto the Gyrocopter. Now they're going to be able to Chronosphere. The Chaotic Offering gets dropped with a Beta Bonds as well. Now the flat cannon shots raining out on RNG. All of them quite low, but do they have the catch? A nice toss onto Pasha. Will be able to get the stun onto Leshrac to finish off. And now the Rocket Barrage running down Flyby. Missile nails him, and there's just nowhere to run to, nowhere to hide. He's going to try and outpace no one, hide around these trees, away from the Rocket Barrage, just buy more and more time if possible. Drums being activated by Pasha just to make sure with the TP way, but the stomp is there. This is why Pasha continue to chase with the Gyrocopter all along.
And they got split up way too much in that engagement. Try to do a little bit too much. Once the Omni Knight went onto the high ground, that fight was completely done. They weren't able to hold.
And they really funneled, with that deep Chronosphere, they funneled into that that part of the mid lane where just a beautiful Fatal Bond to Chaotic Offering was just going to cause so much chaos and damage, no matter what the Omni Knight's heals could do for you.
So there's one incorrect thing that RNG is doing is they're running at heroes after the fact.
Okay.
Like making your way towards that top lane, I think is such a big mistake because you know that Ramses isn't going to continue that push. The better move to make at that point is to go towards the triangle, because in Dota, you don't want to just run at dots. You want to try to anticipate where the next move is.
Okay.
If you're going for the previous play, you go towards that top lane, you're just wasting your time. There's no carry that's crazy enough without his tier 1 tower to push past where your previous tower point used to be.
Right.
So what you have to do then is anticipate the next maneuver. You have to go where the creep wave is going to be, send your Leshrac up there to farm that wave up, push it in, 3 heroes go to gank, they feel safe, you get the kill on the Wraith King in that way.
RNG trying to do a better job of hunting down these Virtus Pro heroes.
Yeah, that's why Ramses was able to sniff out the gank at bottom too.
Yeah.
They came down for him, but there will be a certain point where Ramses will just retreat into the jungle, and you have to learn how to anticipate that. When you push out the top lane and you don't go for the tower, you can assume that somebody from VP will then TP up there, push out the lane themselves. If it's a carry, he'll get it to a certain point, then move to another part of the map. And that's what the real difficulty of Dota is, trying to understand where that next move is going to be.
And because of that failure, we're going to see a Radiance picked up by Ramses fairly soon here without dying once. But this is very well covered up by the fact that Monet has kept his farm up very high and actually has a hand of Midas into a Maelstrom. He's not that far behind. The Gyrocopter is actually ahead of the Wraith King, especially with the tower being taken now by RNG at the top tier 2. That net worth gets boosted up even further.
But the gold lead, relatively even. Monet gonna sense things. As Roger smoked up. He's been using a lot of individual smokes to get things started. And because VP is taking this tower a little bit later, they're gonna get pressured in other lanes. But because they're so well set up, it's impossible for RNG to defend this tower. They don't know where the vision is. They don't have vision themselves down there. I mean, they'd be walking in blind if you're wondering why they're not just going for it.
Yeah, especially with now they've seen a BKB picked up by no one, just delivered. Ramsey's going to be the first one on the scene defending this mid-tier 2. It's because he's got that reincarnation in hand.
Yeah, in 5-on-5 situations, you're only going to defend that area if you have vision pre-set up.
Yeah.
It's like the #1 thing that I see a lot of pubs make a mistake around. It's they want to defend or take fights where they don't have vision. Then you're just coin flipping for yourself. You're hoping that the enemy team also doesn't have vision and that you can just out team fight them.
Yeah.
But what you want to do in pro games is eliminate that random chance. Don't just leave it up to, well, hopefully we click buttons a little bit better. You want to make things as easy for yourself as possible.
Lots of deep vision down from Virtus Pro. As we saw, RNG already had one idea of where a ward was going to be, and Afu still does not spot it.
Did they not see it?
They had that sentry down before the ward was placed, but
I don't actually
time
think they see
after
it,
time, they've just walked past it.
It's in such a weird position where I actually think it's just outside the vision at bottom lane.
Able to run down Setsu, TP out after the Yule's Scepter, but the stomp is still there. If he had been a little bit faster on the Yule's TP, maybe they could have done it. I'm not sure how long the animation of the stomp.
And that's actually the classic case of they anticipated him to be down there.
Yeah. They actually read where Setsu was going to be pushing out the lane. Virtus Pro, as soon as he kind of pokes his head out, they immediately cut it off. And now they're going to be well set up to establish dominant map control as the 20-minute bounty runes coming up. And Virtus Pro leading the charge. Ramses with the Radiance, now level 15 as well, with the 15 strength talent that so many Wraith Kings have been taking. This is a really big power spike for him.
They know he's strong right now. They want to play behind him.
Not even bothering to mess around with the bounty runes right now. They try and get some chip damage on the tier 2, knowing that RNG aren't really in position to claim those bounty runes on the right side of the map.
At this point, the Wraith King is better than the Hephaestus Void, because the Chrono doesn't hard counter you. In fact, you want to be countered. You want to be chronoed if you're Ramses. He's going to ignore it. You chrono him, he pops a second life. By the time he's alive, he can run at you, and that big team fight ulti's on CD. So Setsu's going to push out top lane. Somebody from VP should respond to this. I don't think they should just blind push on this mid lane. I actually feel like then Setsu will get damage on this tier 3 tower, and you always have to worry about that.
Especially with the boots of travel, Setsu has a great build to be able to pop out, get damage on the tier 3 while still joining his team in defending towers. Siege Wagon leading the way. He's going to open up the tree path that he built for himself and pop out. As soon as it closes in on the tier 3, Virtus Pro will take the tier 2 mid tower though.
Yeah, and now they're going to push out this top lane. And partially because Setsu was so worried that one hero would TP back, he has been punished for it.
Yep. Shrine rotation. Mass TP's coming in. They know where no one is. As soon as they saw the Wraith King up at the top lane, they say he's the strongest hero right now. If he's not here, we can win a fight against VP, but no one is still super tanky with that BKB. Slowed down by the Purge as BKB eventually wears out. Setsu going for the split. Nice stop. Landed on Darkcopter. What a stop from Pasha though. Gyro, as well as Pasha and Roger, just comboed together to get a lot of damage, but Gyro still finished off by Monet, who managed to blink in and finish him off. Now, going back to the Shrine, Pasha looks to be able to catch these heroes in Flyby and Monet. The toss forward into the stomp. No, time walk away from Monet. Does manage to get him away. Nice stomp from Lana. At least hits the Centaur Flyby, who's super tanky right now. Monet is actually going to go and try and execute solo, but instead going to be caught by the toss. Saved now by Flyby. And now the BKB activated solo. The stomp in. They're trying to finish off this Omni Knight. The physical damage isn't quite good enough. He does manage to get off the head.
Flyby's still alive.
Finish off that support, and Monet is now going to turn onto Pasha as well with a Soul Catcher, bringing this tanky Centaur low. He's trying to find his way out of here, but Roger, a beautiful initiation to stop the four-step. Somebody die, and they do manage to get him. On follow-up stun onto Monet, but he time walks it off, and Pasha is so low. One swing from Afu, another one. They need a little bit more, and finally he does go down. Roger with the Yule Scepter into the Split Earth is dead as well. And Ramses, you don't have the backup anymore, so he's going to start retreating.
It took them so long to kill Flyby.
It took forever. This Omni Knight, you said it's a free Omni Knight game. He got so much farm, and it shows here in these team fights. His Virtus Pro struggled to be able to bring him down, and round after round of Guardian Angel, Heavenly Grace, so many heals being thrown around, just allowed RNG to persevere through the burst.
It was like a 2-on-4 fight. It lasted so long that the Leshrac was able to respawn, come back in, had a free time, just sort of walk through VP at that point. And it all comes down to the fact that Flyby lasted for forever. I actually thought he was going to live for a second. That was a really nice Force Staff by the Elder Titan. If he's able to pop his heal there, I mean, he's going to reset.
And it all starts with Virtus Pro just getting a little undisciplined, right? They show Ramses up there in the top lane, but get caught on top of the Shrine. RNG made the read that there was an error in Virtus Pro's moves.
And that's part of when you push out that top lane blind like that. That's why I wanted somebody to push in that lane before they went for the mid push.
Yeah.
Because then it becomes progressively harder. If you're going to go defend that top tower, you have to make sure that everyone gets out.
Roger in range of the Yule Scepter.
Back-to-back deaths.
He'll die. I don't know if he thought it was going to be a free defense at that tier 1 tower, but all of RNG is here. While the rest of Virtus Pro, they're going to try and push the other side of the map.
I mean, they're going to take pressure, though, in this bottom tower.
Yeah.
Plus, I don't even know if that top tower is free. If you think about it, it's so close to the Shrine. They don't have any vision up there. It's healthy enough that RNG will defend it.
Ramses.
And that's why they go back. They make the smart call. They allow Ramses to just defend. RNG want to avoid this hero right now.
Yeah.
Don't run into the Wraith King.
We saw that from the last engagement. As soon as the Wraith King shows up on one side of the map, they move to the other. They're just trying to avoid fights with the Wraith King while he's still so strong. He has the top CF, top net worth right now.
And if you're curious as to why VP didn't just go for the trade right there, it's because they didn't have vision right here. Plus, they know they're weaker.
Yeah.
If the Shrine is up for whatever reason, they have vision on top of this hill, or they see you coming, VP is going to get wiped again.
Yeah. And that's part of the reason RNG was willing to take that trade. They had the vision on the high ground that allows them to pressure the tier 2, but read Virtus Pro's movements in their defense.
Yeah,
so they
ward
can
vision,
back up.
And just being stronger as a 5-man unit and being set up is so important. But Lon M might get run into here. Ramsey's going to jump forward, runs into Afu, who gets force-staffed. Nice. Does have the ulti and the disruption. Going to try to reset himself.
Roger's trying to finish up Afu, but Setsu coming in. They do have the Guardian's Angel out from the Omni Knight. This is going to slow down a lot of damage of VP. They're going to throw out the Stampede. INTERCEPTOR chasing down Ramses, lives on a sliver of health. He still has reincarnation, but they're going to go for the Omni Knight. Do manage to get him with the Stomp, and now into the Chronosphere. He doesn't get a chance to be able to pop his BKB until the very end, but he's low enough that maybe he can't fight. Monet, he's going to pop a BKB of his own, and there goes the reincarnation of Ramses. Flyby, quite slow, hit by the Stomp, and there is the Stomp in return. Out from the Elder Titan, and now with the big percentage-based damage, maybe Pasha is actually going to fall here. It looks like too much damage. The Centaur gets overwhelmed, then Ramses tries to turn around, gets this crit onto Monet, but it's not enough to finish him off, and now they just kite around the Wraith King and still finish him off. 3 dead on the side of Virtus Pro with no flybacks. Captain Solo on the retreat, but gotta be found as a force staff from Monet, and a time walk will surely end his life. Big time kills. Look at Setsu actually. He's looking to be able to run down no one. He's caught up to him. All that mobility into his favor. No one living with just a sliver of health. Roger to be able to intercept with the avalanche as well. They won't get wiped entirely, but RNG in a beautiful
Afu's gonna find him here.
Afu managed to find him. Oh, meanwhile, there's that top push at the top lane. No one. He's gonna be able to burst down his own illusions, trying to deal with Afu right now, but that tier 3 at top is taking so much damage. Afu made all that space in the world. Gyrocopter will live through the poison, stacked up, while RNG take a tier 3. Shrines are now unlocked.
This reminds me of last game where they just all in for the supports, and Afu's positioning is so good, Cap, that it takes them way too long to be able to kill him. They have to hard commit for the fight. It makes it really easy for the Void to line up for the Chrono and the Stomp from the ET. Lineup's positioning is also very good. He's able to extend the fight with the Force Staff onto a Shadow Demon, and you see why that hero is so highly valued. It's just so tough to bring down. He's gonna get his toolkit off, disrupts himself. The VP have to be better at starting these engagements. Because right now, they're just filtering in, they're taking too long. You see they hard commit to Afu.
Afu so many times.
Look at this, they're still just all going from, they're ignoring the back line. And because they have to hard commit for this fight, they're just in such bad positions.
No one not popping his BKB and getting stomped by the Elder Titan like that allows them to be able to get the Chronosphere. Even if they don't kill no one in that instance, he's low enough. He can't really commit to these fights. Look at him just playing on the outside lines, and that means when Pasha gets turned around on, no one can't confidently turn and fight with him.
It's either you pop the SD immediately, or, what's the point?
Yeah.
As you see, they're giving up positioning as a result of it. And Ramses is just laughing because it's getting kind of ridiculous that they're not able to win these engagements.
It's getting kind of ridiculous how often Virtus Pro choking against these other teams here at the International, on the precipice here of completing a 9th through 12th placing at TI, where their 2 previous ended in the 5th, 6th spot, and that was considered a disappointment. I have no idea how Virtus Pro was going to read a bottom placing like this. They're going to have to craft a way to be able to combat RNG, an RNG that is stronger than ever. Now that they've managed to pick up the Aegis, they're looking at an MKB, Monet, anticipating the build that's coming out from the Gyrocopter in that Butterfly. Their timing is going to be almost exact. That Butterfly has just been hard countered.
And Monet now, he feels like he can go wherever he wants. He's pushing up this top lane real confidently. They're going to take the Shrine here, establish vision, start to choke VP out on the map. VP's lineup is still really scary to push up against because they have Ramses who can just frontline for them. They have the counter initiation of the Warlock Rock. The better thing to do with this Aegis rather than just going blind high ground, I think, is just get map control.
Right. especially with Ramses, who's about to get a BKB. But boy, this Omni Knight has just been a pain in the ass for Virtus Pro, man.
Yeah, Flyby, I mean, twice in a row, he's played a very similar style.
Yeah.
Just counter-initiate. He understands the sort of aggression that VP likes to run. Play one of these heroes. Abandon Omni Knight, reset fights, make it difficult for VP to just do the VP thing. In a team fight, get one hero out of the way, move on to the next. Cut them out at the knees.
The last time these two teams matched up against each other was in the group stage. That went 1-1, with the first game going to Virtus Pro with that big team fight lineup, very similar to what they drafted in game 1 of this series. But last time they managed to pull out the W here. Virtus Pro may just get 2-0'd by RNG. Monet, look at how big he is. He's got the MKB on its way and is thinking about Satanic.
I sort of think I don't know. The initiation, of course, is going to matter more, but so is the vision game. They need to be able to find the Shadow Demon immediately.
The combination of Aegis, BKB, and Heavenly Grace allows this Void to play on the front lines like most Voids are not able to do.
And Ramsey is going to TP in. They want to take this fight around their shrine area. Plus, they have the high ground. You can't just allow all of your map to get filtered out. They're going to run into each other 5-on-5.
Disruption, Soul Catcher. Ramsey's already quite low, almost getting burned out immediately. Pasha's going to try and get the chain stun, but there's that Heavenly Grace. Now Pasha going to be slowed down, goes for the Stampede, but immediately the Eul Scepter from Setsu holds him in place. That's Pasha dead, and no buyback either. Monet not even have to blow the Chronosphere, is going to look for another one with that Time Walk, marching towards the tier 4s, but the initiation coming out from Ramsey with the Avalanche over the top, the Canic offering as well. They get the Fatal Bonds on top of that, but the Time Walk allows Monet to stand strong. He's got the Chronosphere on top with the Gyrocopter as well, half health, but no one laying out the Black Cannon. Damage is going to be enough. No, he gets first down.
They're so tanky.
Finished off RNG, taking through everything. 3 dead on the side of Virtus Pro. No buyback for Roger as well. He dies, immediately buys back. Him and Ramses are gonna have to watch Elena Barracks being pummeled down by RNG.
No one does have the buyback, but they're still not very strong right now, Cap. 10 seconds left on this Wraith King ultimate. Doesn't have BKB. There's still an Aegis on this Void. It's gonna last for long enough for them to claim a set of racks. Looking towards mid, but there's still a tier 2 tower. They could just swing up towards top. And the initiation.
Ramsey's trying to go on the left strike immediately, trying to deal with the damage dealer. He does have his reincarnation up. Monet is going to take that away from him nice and fast. They do manage to get the toss up in the air onto Setsu. Ramsey's really wanted to be able to lock down that left strike, but can't actually get him. And he may just fall here. It's Monet challenging with bash after bash. Gets another one. Gets the Beyond Godlike to be able to finish up Ramsey. Gets Roger as well. He loses the Aegis, but he's got a second life. No one can finish up Setsu is all. Is that it? Are we seeing the last of Virtus Pro at the International?
They just don't kill anybody.
The last of this roster.
They can't kill anyone, Cap. They hard commit. It must be so demoralizing watching Flyby run out.
Virtus Pro call it. The curse strikes again, and RNG make it through the best of ones. They take down the CAS powerhouse of Virtus Pro, and the home crowd is on their feet. The Chinese underdog team of RNG barely makes it through the qualifiers, barely makes it out of group, barely makes it through best of ones, now dominate Virtus Pro in a swift 2-0.
And the Kings of CIS in a stunner. This is what I feel like is our first really big upset. We're going to see VP go home at 12.
The International is a brutal tournament. As you said, TI, it does not care that you were second place in the DPC points. It does not care that you were a top 8 team 2 years previously. It does not care that you are the favorite against RNG. What it cares about is just those wins that RNG were able to pull out through their aggression, through their strategy. They just had it all planned out, and Virtus Pro didn't have an answer.
And they try to go for a type of lineup where they could just run at RNG. RNG read that completely. They said, we can counter-initiate. The disruption save every single time on the SD. The fact that they could never burst down Flyby made it nigh impossible for them to ever take team fights.
You could see the relief on the young squad's face. Happy to be able to represent China here, led by veteran Lanham, which is an incredible story on his own. being able to, at 30 years old, lead this young squad forward. They get the 2-0 against Virtus Pro, and now off to Shiver.
Thank you very much, Blitzcap. That was a 2-0. Virtus Pro was once again eliminated before their time, or at least that's what their fans will say. That's what everybody will say that looked at the paper before going into TI. RNG did it, and we have a new member on the panel as well. First TI panel, Lex.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me. Well, you know, they say everyone thinks VP wasn't going to do well. I wouldn't say everyone, Shiver. It's happened a few times. But
sure.
Sad for those boys to be headed out there. I think a lot of fans will be disappointed. I mean, what a fantastic DPC. And then they go out against Royal Never Give Up. Royal Never Give Up. I've never even heard of that team before yesterday. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean,
Mostly.
it doesn't matter how many majors you played, how good you did in the DPC. Once you get to the TI, nothing else matters. You just want to perform good here, and this is all it takes. You take one BO1, you take 2 good games, and suddenly you're in a really good spot.
It felt like they've gone through this whole motion now on Virtus Pro, where everyone's like, man, Virtus Pro looks so weird in the group stage. They're playing this really farm-heavy game. It's like, what happened to all Virtus Pro? Whereas, as they said in their interview, drink vodka, play Dota. You know, they got away from that, right?
Well,
They're just going
maybe
for this
they
farm
just
fest. And maybe that's what they needed here, because it looked like they went too aggro, and RNG played them.
Yeah, RNG is on form. And now we all heard the rumors before going in. It's like, well, RNG's been doing really good in these scrims, you know? Nobody really knew what they were going to do coming in because the results this year haven't been amazing, but it's all about peaking at the right time. And they are peaking at the right time. And of course, Monet also, carry of the squad, peaking at the right time. And he is with Casey right now.
Yes, we're here with Monet, and Helen is going to help us translate. Congratulations, Monet. That was an incredible 2 games. How did it feel to be able to play on the TI stage in front of a Chinese crowd?
首先，恭喜获得2场比赛的胜利。首先想问一下，在 TI 的舞台上，在中国打是个什么样的一个感觉？
能感受到现场观众们真的非常的热情，就是很能被现场观众们带动气氛吧，非常的激动。
I can feel the crowd cheering, and it makes me super, super excited.
You can tell that they really are connecting with you. You were at TI7. You had to watch from the sidelines of TI8. How difficult is it to do that when this is the pinnacle of everything that you want to play at?
TI7你参加了，但是 TI8你是只能旁观，就是在这个最顶尖的舞台上，你有什么感觉吗？
感觉就是和强队们交手，真的很不一样吧。而且怎么说呢，感觉就是很激动，真的很激动。
It feels really different competing against the strongest teams in the world, and it's just super exciting for me. It's hard to say.
You just beat VP, one of the strongest teams on the planet. That has to feel, I know that you have an enormous amount of respect for them as a team, and to be able to do it here must be really special.
你刚刚把 VP 给击败了，也可以说是世界上最顶尖的队伍之一，就很佩服你。估计也对VP 有很大的尊敬，就是能说一下吗
？VP 真的是一个很强的队伍吧，一支特别厉害的队伍，而且我很喜欢他们的 carry。
VP is probably one of the strongest teams. I have a lot of respect for them, and I really like the carry player, Ramses.
Oh, I love it. See, everybody's like family. You're looking ahead. Are you able to take it 1 game at a time, or have you allowed yourself to picture what it would be like to lift the Aegis?
一步一脚印吧，就能看清楚你下一场比赛呢，还是你有想过就是举起冠军盾是什么样一个感觉吗？
想不到自己举冠军盾是什么样子，但我们就是这个队伍就是一步一步走吧，能走到哪里是哪里。就目前来说，我们是没有夺得冠军那个实力的。
It's hard to imagine the ages right now for my team. We'll just take it step by step and not rush anything.
Congratulations. Thank you so much. Shishi, back to you.
Taking it step by step definitely seems to be the right way of going about this, for sure. And even for Setsu and Flyby, this is their first international, you know? Just enjoy the moment, and it seems like they really are